Hey, welcome to the demo. Here, I have 3 terminals open. Each of them corresponds to a session for a different tenant. This one is for the system tenant, and these 2 are for 2 regular tenants, which I just created. We explained in the presentation that each tenant is working like owning its own virtual cluster. So when a tenant is created, some resources have already been created for it, just like some resources have already been created when the cluster, the Kubernetes cluster is up. So here we can take a look. Like in this tenant, some namespaces already been created, same here. And some cluster roles have already been created, like here, and also here. And of course, each tenant can create their own resources. Say, this tenant would like to create a new namespace, and you can do it. And then we can see, yeah, it's created. But for this tenant, okay, no new namespaces is created. So everything remains the same. So here, we can see the resources management between different tenants are isolated. And next thing I want to show is the creation of the deployment. And here I have the deployment YAML file. Let's take a look at first. And you can see it's just a YAML file. It's same as any YAML file we can see in Kubernetes. And let's run it. And you can see it's up. So we can have a check here. Okay, you can see the deployments here. But for this tenant, okay, resource creation is isolated. No new deployment here. And also, earlier I mentioned like cluster role, which is working as a cluster scope object in Kubernetes. Now it's working at the tenant space level in our system, and it's done transparently to the customer. Let me show it. So here I'm going to create a cluster role. And that's the YAML file. And here we go. And we're going to create it. Okay, and here you can see. No. Yeah, and you can see the new role is here. But for this one, okay, you see there is no new cluster role. So that's what we say the cluster scope objects is now working at a space level. And we also mentioned each tenant can create their own CRD. And this time we are going to play with this tenant. Okay, so and then we are going to run it. Okay, it's created. Then we can take a look at the CRD here. Okay, and this CRD, just like the CRD in Kubernetes, you can treat it like API resource, and this command will work. But for this one, okay, he knows nothing here. And also we can create custom resource based on the CRD. Okay, then we can check it using this command. And here it is. And for the system tenants, as we mentioned, it has access to the spaces of the regular tenants. So he can take a look at the resources in those regular tenants. Like he can take a look at the namespaces in this tenant. You can see there are 4, 3 which are created by the system automatically, and the one we just created. And also he can take a look at the other tenant. And you'll see here there are only 3. Here ends our demo. Thank you very much.